What's on the menu? Are you seriously at the Caxton with the side tonight?
We are, Brace, believe it or not. It's actually right behind me here, so we couldn't drive down it, so we've come in early. But, yeah, it's been a nice dinner.
I bet it has. Tell me about this camp. Obviously, it's a clean slate now, both teams with a chance of grabbing Origin glory on Wednesday night.
Yeah, it's a whole new game, Brace. We've had a really good camp, as we have the last couple of camps, but the intensity around this one's definitely lifted. We know what's at stake, and the players have definitely prepared that way.
Madge, we spoke about how dominant the Blues were in Game 2. We also brought up the 2022 incident where Matt Burton was taken on by a couple of Queensland players. Has there been any discussion within the camp about what will happen if there is any sort of punches thrown, or if they try to do that again?
Gal, the boys know what they need to do in those circumstances. At the end of the day, mate, it's about winning the game, and that's one thing that they've set out to do. And obviously our first game was a bit of a tougher situation, and second one we were able to get the way we wanted to play, and now we've got to make sure we do it in the third.
Madge, you made some comments after Game 2. I remember asking you at the press conference about it was great to see the passion and the boys backing each other up in those moments in the game, but also the referee started to penalise them. And I know the game was gone by that point, but in Game 3, how do you make sure they don't overstep the mark and do something that might prove costly for the team?
Yeah, we've definitely spoken about that. Obviously, we learnt the hard way in the first game. You've got to have your players on the field, but we'll make sure that we stand solid in what we expect of each other. And I think I've obviously had the discussions there with where the refs want to take the game, and the boys are well aware of what we need to do there. But we're going to play a very strong style, and I think the boys have shown that, and they do it together.
Michael, what are you anticipating from the referee? Because history shows Origin deciders in Queensland, the Queenslanders get away with a lot being offside. They get away with a lot with markers getting out early. Referees are very reluctant to pull them up in front of their home crowd. Have you prepared for the type of game this will be, where the opposition side is not held to account as normally as in club football?
Yeah, Gus, we've obviously spoken about that too. I mean, you've experienced that as a coach, and history tells you, especially off the numbers that's been shown over the years, that you don't get the rub of the green. So we've got to make sure that we're pretty disciplined about the way we do things. So that's going to play a big part in how we go about our job.
All right, and in these Origin things, I've always said the losers learn more than the winners. The losers have got a lot more to learn. But as big winners of Game 2, what's the big thing you learned out of that game that can help you in Game 3?
Yeah, Gus, I reckon the moments of the game, we got a fair bit of lessons out of the second half. I mean, we allowed ourselves to play into a game that wasn't us, and that's something there that we've definitely looked at. And we needed to be better in that second half. So I think that's really given us something there to make sure that we can focus on what we need to do in this game. And as you said, you don't tend to get the rub of the greens when you're up this way. So we've got to make sure we're pretty diligent about how we go about our game.
What about the players themselves? And they're only human. I mean, I'd imagine going into Game 2 with the series on the line and fellas like Mitchell Moses, Latrell coming back, there'd have been a lot of nerves and a lot of anxiety and a lot of tension moving into that. Everyone would like it to be perfect. They have a big win. Suddenly they come into Game 3 and they're very confident and they're very relaxed, and you don't want that to turn into arrogance when you get into this performance. How do you keep the edge about them moving into this game?
Yeah, Gus, again, we've spoken about that, Gus. I think, as you said, mate, we're human. So you've got to understand that the humans can sort of get the comforts out of having a big win. But it's also, too, about what we want to achieve. And, we've got a lot on the line. I mean, you look at the history and you look at all the old boys, you look at what we put into the campaign, and there's so much to play for. And obviously, it's been talked about every single day and everywhere you go around what it is to play up here. But I think this group's definitely got a steel about themselves that, they know what they want to achieve.
Madge, I love the look of our bench. We've got like Spencer Leniu, but you look at their bench, they've got a bloke named Kalen Ponga there. Have you got a plan around how you handle him and how he might play?
Yeah, I'm sure they might play two styles there, Gal. They've obviously got, where he can play as a lock, but he can also then play as an extra fullback out one side. And, they'll probably have Walsh and Jerry Evans on DCE, on one side, and then Dearden and Ponga on the other side. So we've looked at different ways and styles, but ultimately at the end of the day, we've got to stick to our process about how we want to go about things, and they'll test our edges, and then that's what Origin's all about, is at the moment's there, you're ready to go when all of a sudden something doesn't go your way.
Madge, I just want to know how much you paid Gus to say those things about the referee to try and influence them Wednesday night.
Hey, whose side are you on?
It's just a question.
Whose side are you on? Quiet.
Just ignore him, Madge.
Well, the numbers, I guess, speak for themselves.
Madge, anything in particular on the menu tickle your fancy tonight at the Caxton?
We had a nice steak, so the boys are enjoying their time together. That's one this group has done, is that they've got a bond between themselves and the connection between themselves, which is quite unique. Obviously all the experiences I've had, they're a very tight group, so we're looking forward to using that come Wednesday night.
Michael, just get the boys to practice their field goals. You may well need it to win a series.
Yes. Thanks, Gus. I appreciate the tip.
You've got plenty of options too. Madge, always great to catch up. We'll see you Wednesday night.
Good on you, boys. Thanks again.